Just a short little demo on how to use our fire overlays that we have available on our website. So when you get the overlays, they're going to come as JPEG images, and you're going to have a couple options in there. So the first thing that you're going to see are more of these traditional type of flames. They got a little bit of movement in them, and the reason we try to use overlays to do flames in our images is because it's the best way to get a realistic look. I've used a lot of fire type brushes and different things like that, but unfortunately, you know, fire is random by nature, and to keep that random look, I find that it's better to use overlays to do this. So they're pretty simple to use. So what we do is bring an image in, just drop it on top of our subject here, and we're going to switch the blend mode of this to screen. So you're going to see that immediately we can see through to the flame. We can move it around. We're going to press Control T or Command T to transform this, and let's just bring this down to size and accept this, and now we can start to align this. And now you might take notice on some of the files that we try to include some of the glow from the flame, it's a little bit of the light source, so that when you drop these in, they have a little bit more of a realistic look. But if I drag this over into some of these darker parts, you can see there's some edging on these. So what that allows you to do is just add a mask onto these images, and then with a soft black brush, we'll switch over to a round brush here, we can just clean up the edges and fade these edges of the flame files in. So that once we've cleaned up that edge, all we have to do is place it. Things will start to blend together. And now there's one little tweak that we can do to these. So what we're going to do is select our flame. We're going to press Command or Control U to bring up the Hue Saturation dialog box. And now we're going to bring the saturation up. And then if you wanted, you could actually change the color of the flame just by changing the hue slider. But we'll leave this as an orange flame and click OK. And so if there's any parts of the flame that you don't like, we already have a layer mask on here. We just take our soft brush again, and the good thing about the soft brush is we can kind of blend this in and make things look a little more natural. Not that his arm on fire is natural, but you get the idea. So now we can bring some other flames in, and same thing, we're going to switch this to screen. Maybe let's flip this one horizontally, and we'll bring it down to size, and then we'll kind of bring this up and just start looking at ways to piece this in. I'm going to let it overlap a little bit. Alright, just like so. Control or Command U. We'll bring the saturation up to match the other. You know, if you need to tweak the color to match the other, you can do that here as well. Click OK. Now we're going to add a mask on here, and same thing, we're just going to fade in any areas that we want to blend. So you can see as you start to drop in these different elements, you're going to have that realistic fire effect because it's totally randomized. And that's what real fire does, it looks random. So same thing here, we'll switch to screen, and we'll just continue to build this up. You can rotate, you can resize. Alright, Command or Control U. So you can see very quickly we can start to create this effect of fire. Again, with a realistic look because they're real flames. And just by randomizing them as we place them in, we get that realistic effect. So we use our brush to fade this one as well. Now, one of the other things you'll see in the pack of flames is we have a little bit different look as well in some of the flame files. And let's bring one of these guys in, and that's this it's flames with a little more action going on. So we're going to use these in the exact same way. We're just going to switch this to a screen blend mode. We'll resize this, maybe we'll flip it, we can rotate it, and so, you know, same technique, we're just going to let a little bit of the flames overlay and drop it right onto there. And of course different looks for these as well. So here's another flame file. We'll switch this to screen blending mode. We'll resize this. These have a little bit more color in them, so we don't really need to do much in the way of hue saturation adjustments unless you want to change the color. But you can see you just kind of piece these in to create these little realistic effects. In the same way, these have a glow built into the file, so if you start to see the edges of this glow, if you zoom in here, we can see more what we're talking about, how we have this orange edging. We'll just take a black brush, softly clean this hard edge up so that it doesn't exist in the image. And there we go. So we have a couple different looks, and the good thing is you can even mix and match these. So if we wanted to go with, again, this other flame type, we'll switch this to screen, and we'll bring this way down, maybe start to rotate, and we can even mix and match these flames in to get even more of a randomized look. And now again, we have some edging on there, so we'll just add a layer mask, soft black brush, and just paint off anywhere that we don't want that to show. So, you know, one tip is that the flames do show up and they look better on a dark background. Keep that in mind. But you can see plenty of flame files, mix and match, you know, switch them to screen, adjust with your hue saturation, and you're pretty much good to go. So it couldn't be any easier. Hope this helps.